Hi guys, Sam here at ESLOne Frankfurt 2014. I'm joined here by 7ckingMatt, who's one of the analysts here on the desk at the event. How's it going so far? How are you enjoying the event?
I'm like super hyped. I'm enjoying the event quite a lot. It's just incredible to see a Dota event in a football stadium. I remember the old days where we were playing for like some headsets and there was like 20 people behind you watching you. It's just amazing to see how far we went, and it's, in my opinion, this is just the beginning.
Yeah. And are you happy that Europe kind of finally has something on the scale of the international event now?
Yes, I am very happy about that. It means we're gonna have a more balanced season, if we can call it that way. So it's only good news.
So let's look back at day one, and obviously quite a long day. What are your highlights from day one?
Okay, definitely the C9 versus Alliance game, that's for sure. The crowd, it's actually impressive to hear that, to see them stand up or hear them shouting the mouse word, for example, the mouse name, when there was that mouse versus IG game. That was quite impressive as well. Every team, there's no weak team, Yeah. Usually you have a team, you're like, meh, maybe they can cause an upset or two, but honestly I don't see them. Here, who can like really predict it's going to be that team winning? You never know. Sure, some teams have better chances going into the match, but the teams are amazing, the crowd is amazing, the organization is perfect. It's just awesome.
I want to ask you about the last game last night. Obviously, Cloud9 versus Alliance. You yourself being a pro player would have been in kind of similar positions before. Can you just like tell our audience at home, like when you're defending for say like 50 minutes an hour against some really strong rat Dota like that, and then you lose at the very last moment, maybe some very slight mistakes. I mean, we saw Eternal Envy. He's obviously head in arms. He's distraught. Just, I mean, how does that make you feel as a player, and like how do you like even get over that?
It's really hard, and this is why if that was a best of 5, I would even have maybe asked the players to just, I mean, if I was in the team, to just FF the game and go next, because it takes so much of your energy, takes so much of your, like, it's so hard to take, like yeah. You could see Envy because they defended, and honestly it's almost impossible to combat. They almost made it. They almost proved me wrong. I was like, this game is lost. Unfortunately for them, it was played before when they let some racks down or to the towers. You cannot face, it's Whispers. 3 heroes can always TP. Loda being maxed out on the Skeleton King, they can always end the game even if you're winning or taking the throne yourself. They're gonna force you back to your base. So it's insanely hard. They almost made it. I'm sure they believed in it, and you have to when you go into such a match and such an intense one. It's so hard to take. I feel Envy's pain. On the other hand, Alliance dominated them the whole game. So Alliance deserved to win, that's for sure. It was an awesome Dota match and great experience for C9.
And as a player, like, what's your opinion on single elimination, double elimination, all the different formats we got going on? Obviously, with an event like this and the time scale, single elimination is kind of required. Do you really not have any? Does it really not matter for what kind of the format is? You never really want to drop down anyway, do you? So
you never want to drop down, that's for sure. Obviously, double elimination is better than single, but that was mainly the case before because there weren't that many big tournaments. Now, to be honest, sure, this one is single elimination, but there's TI in 1 month. There was DreamHack a month ago or so. It's not that bad, and it's actually different way to approach the games in the tournament. So I think it's good we have also single elimination tournaments. I don't mind it. Obviously, for example, when you're Mouse or any team that got knocked out the first day, you're like, we prepared that hard, but it's part of competition, right? It can always be, there has to be losers and winners. They still go back with a quite decent amount of money, and it's great experience. We had really close best of 3 so far, so no team is like, man, we got outpicked twice, I didn't get a chance to fight, so it's fine.
Now I want to pedal back a bit. Earlier this year, unfortunately, Sigma Int kind of drifted apart, and there was kind of like a lull period in the community where they were kind of unsure what was going on with the team. Can you give us any insight into how things went about with the team?
Yeah, we are like, personally, I'm sorry I didn't make any clear announcement. It was because of I don't want to say depressed, but it's always sad to see a project ending, and when you put so much effort in it, see that go away before a big tournament. Story is kind of hard to take, and I really hate commenting on something when I feel sad or angry or whatever. I don't think it's a good thing. So better just let things settle down. And basically, the team stopped playing. We didn't have so much practice time. It's always been the case with Sox and me. It's changing this year because we're going full time for the first time, so that's a good thing for us, I hope. And some players get frustrated, which is okay.
Yeah.
You know, I get it. I still don't agree with the way things ended, but the reasoning behind is completely fine, and I respect this competitor, mindset that player. I have the same, so it's completely fine. No hard feelings, and wish them best of luck. I was actually rooting for them yesterday. I'm a bit disappointed by their approach to the game, but I'm sure they're one of the best teams in the world right now, and wishing them great luck further.
So yourself, you kind of done quite a lot in Dota. You've been a pro player, analyst, caster. You seem to excel in all areas where you put your mind to. You mentioned there that you and Sox want to go full time. Does that mean so you want to stick as a player right now and root out? So maybe after the international, we may see you return to the scene.
I do. I'm all about competition. This high pressure environment is all I like, and I miss it. It's like I'm addicted to that, honestly. And the strategy, the complexity of the game just drives me as well. So, and we never had the chance to. I mean, we had the chance to compete with those teams, beating them sometimes, lose to them, obviously, but never. We always felt frustrated because it was after a day of work or with studying or so many problems, not being able to sustain. So with that changing, we're hoping we might just be, bad. That happens. It's part of competition, but we're hoping we want to get, this like the full chance, take the full chance, and we're looking forward to it. We just can't wait. We're like lions in cage right now.
So when I speak to a lot of players, they emphasize how much practice helps them and just playing the game all the time. During this lull period, what have you just been playing pubs or just like, sticking with the game, watching every game, just, analyzing everything?
Yeah, at first we took a break because, as I said, it was really hard to take, and we needed that, step back a little from what happened and what we want to do next, because you need, one thing about this, it's a lot of commitment, so you need to be sure that you're not gonna 3 months after be like, did I make the right choice? No hesitation can be, there's no place for your doubts, so you just need to, it's okay to take like 1 month, think it through, and then go back in it. But to come back to your question, we've been like obviously watching the games because that's like we're passionate about it, and we've been practicing. We believe in the full French roster. Like international players are everybody's international in a way, of course, but the teams that just gather together because they are able to win together. Once they start losing, and it's always the same, the only reason they had to play together just disappears, and you get into trouble somehow. So there are ways to make a team stable regardless of that, but I think that the ultimate way is having 5 players of the same nationality. You also have a better communication, you have better understanding of each other, the same values, whatever. So we've been training with French players that are great hopes for the international scene, in my opinion. Like, I was really impressed with our level, and we're getting there slowly. We don't want to rush things. It's a long-term project, so just getting there bit by bit,
That's really good to hear. Now, let's looking forward a bit. International's coming up, obviously. Will you be attending the international this year?
Unfortunately, I can't. I can't go because of personal schedule. I really regret that. I would have loved to be there, and I would have been there for sure, like everything I could to go there. But it's going to be an awesome event. I'm going to be watching, obviously. Can't help that. So this time around I won't be. Yeah.
So looking at, let's start with the format for the international. Obviously, there's quite a bit to fit in this year, and the key arena is going to play a big role in that. What's your overall opinion on the new structure for the international?
To be fully honest, I like the old one more. But once again, I really trust Valve they always proved me and everybody that all their obsession is having a fair tournament with every team being, able to prove themselves, more than once in the tournament. And like the way I see it, they didn't want a group of death. That was the only downside of the other format. Right? You could say, okay, both Navi and Alliance are in the same, or whatever you wanted to say. There's always, downsides and advantages. I like the old one a bit more because I don't like the idea of having teams dropping first round. But I still think it's a very balanced one, so I don't think it matters at the end of the day.
So which teams are going to get hit most by this new format?
The teams that's playing right now, to be honest, I'm a bit afraid for Navi. I don't think they will drop, but they could. Usually you have Navi, you have some teams, they just build momentum during the tournament. They need to start winning before actually crushing their opponents, and sometimes it takes them a game, sometimes like 5 or 6, and I'm afraid they can't afford that, because if they're gonna play a bit sloppy versus teams that aren't the favorites, then it might be really tough for them. They're gonna have to win versus the powerhouses if they want to come back in the tournament. On the other hand, actually, it's just those teams that have a much of a slow start in the tournaments. But besides that, I think it's completely fine.
Okay, and then looking at all the teams attending, would you say this is probably the closest international in terms of looking at the whole Dota 2 scene, Eastern and Western? Would you say probably this is the most competitive international we're going to have?
It is, in a sense, but I feel like the Asian scene is stronger than European one this time around. Last year I felt the opposite, and the year before I felt like this year. Yeah. Last year I was like, the Chinese scene, like the Asian scene in general, is a bit weaker. This time around it's different. I don't see many European teams standing really strong versus like IG, DK, or those teams, and I don't like when it's unbalanced. I'm a fan of the East versus West match. Whether it goes West or East, I don't mind, but I'm really a huge fan of that. And this time I think it's a bit more like it favors East a bit more.
Okay. Now, obviously, we can't talk about the international without mentioning $10 million, which is obviously an insane figure. As a Dota 2 player, over the years, all these different internationals, did you ever expect it to get anywhere near this?
I never ever even dreamt about it. It's just I don't think there is a word for that. Like, I can't even comment on that. It's just insane. I wish all that money, is put at good use. It is, so I can only look forward to see how it's gonna get even better, because it's every time it's the same. I know it's always like it's the best hero. I don't want to be that guy always, being super happy and stuff. But it actually is. Every time it gets just better and better. And now it's like it's not gonna get twice better. Like every year, it's gonna get like 4 times better. I don't want to put any pressure on, whether it's Valve or organizations or whatever. But we're going the right way, and we're going super fast. I'm really happy about that. I'm just thrilled.
Now, we haven't actually had the prize structure announced yet. Are you expecting? What are you expecting Valve to do, and what do you hope Valve do?
I am expecting a top 10 paid. Since 6 teams are going to drop, would make sense, and with obviously the cash prize skyrocketing, they can afford to pay more teams. Obviously, what I would it's hard. What I would do, or what I would have them do, it's a bit different. I do think that every team that plays at a certain level, and fixing the limit is very difficult, and obviously it's not my job, and I'm glad it isn't, because I wouldn't be able to. But in my opinion, every team that commits to the game and brings something to the game, whether it's in Tier 1 tournaments or Tier 2, deserves to at least be able to live off or from, they're patient. That's the approach I have, and it looks like they're, especially when it's a lot of the community money, then I think it's the best option. And the community must have their word, I think, to say, when it's them actually putting in all that money to decide how they want it. Obviously, it's going to be the democratic way, right? Because everybody has different opinion, but we can rule countries, so we can, we can handle that. So that's my approach to it.
Would you agree that the majority of teams, with the exception of the top few, they almost operate at a loss throughout the year, hoping to get to the international and then to kind of recoup things then? That's
exactly how it is, to be honest. But it's getting better, because before it was either top 3 or you die. Now it's, I guess, top 8 or you die. Okay, maybe I don't want to be, precise, but it's... So we're getting there, bit by bit. And props to, obviously, Valve, but all the other actors in the Dota scene, because I think everybody works towards that, have that idea that we all have the same mindset, I feel like, and that's what I like about this community. So we're getting there slowly, but we're getting there. So I don't feel, how to say, scared, or I feel confident.
Okay. And have you been following the Fnatic situation much?
I have.
And as a pro player yourself, and you can understand a different angle compared to most of the community. What is your overall opinion on the situation?
My main concern, and the first one and the main one, is I really don't want the 4 players, the 4 others, even Era, like anyone that committed a full year, more than that. Like when they came into the scene, they were already thinking of not only international but being successful. And this is they're in the best shape they had, I think, their whole Dota 2 career. So I don't want them not being able to prove them. Yesterday they knocked Vichy quite convincingly, and Vichy is one of the best teams in the world. They are themselves one of the best teams in the world. Yeah. Not having them there would be disappointing. On the other hand, Valve has valid reasons. It's really hard to have a clear opinion. I don't really have one. I just wish the players don't get punished with them not doing anything to deserve that. That's my only approach to it. I'm not a big fan of the whole email, exchange, to be honest, but that's just me. Once again, we're all grown-ups. We're all working toward, moving toward the same direction. So I can't see people not, ended up agreeing on what should happen. So I'm just waiting for the story to come to an end, and I'm pretty sure the end will satisfy everyone. Hopefully, yeah.
Okay, Sebastien, obviously you're doing analytics here. I'm going to have to let you go and catch the rest of the game. But I really appreciate taking your time out, and I hope we see you in the future. And before I let you go, obviously you got some fans you'd like to thank, and maybe some sponsors.
I just want to thank everybody that's involved in this whole Dota adventure. Just keep on, liking the game, on supporting everyone, like each other's back, and it's just great to have events like this. So let's just get some more and have more Dota games. Yeah.
All right, that's a great way to finish. Thank you.
Thank you.